Hi.
Hey, Nick, how's it going?
Evening. I guess I should have taken my gum out first, huh?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I always have my piece of gum in. So, how are you this evening?
I'm good. I might need some water.
I just almost spoke too.
Um, Mrs. Surfer just came by. She's gonna grab me some water. But
Hi, Miss Surfer.
it was good. We just ate dinner. I went on a little date with my wife to go get some tacos. It's Taco Tuesday
Oh,
in
how nice.
California. It's always Taco Tuesday. Like
Okay.
you got to go get tacos on Tuesday.
Do you eat fish tacos?
I do. They have some really good fish tacos down here that are either mahi mahi or ono.
Mhm. Oh, yum. I just don't want cheese on mine. I don't like
No,
cheese.
I don't. They do a really cool like citrus slaw, like it's like a citrus coleslaw.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
I've never had that, but that sounds
You're going to in
delicious.
June. You're going to come have some,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Yes,
All right.
I actually think that could possibly happen. So we've got a lot of good information tonight. Let's say hello to our guests and let's get to it.
All right.
Eagle Steve and Gold Maple, and thank you for that nice compliment. And West Texas Stacker, Jack Galman, Yoke Fan, and OC Stacker. Woo!
OC Stacker.
I've
Michael
changed.
Stacker, welcome.
I've changed my tune to OC. Michael Stacking and John Shank and Sick Thinker, Navy Vet, good to have you, and Cosmic Creations, good to see you, my friend. Civil Wolverine.
Hello,
And
guys.
George Matthews. It's good to see everyone tonight. So I said I had something about Zelle.
So
Zelle.
I look, I'm really interested in this because there's a lot of YouTube channels that do auctions, and a lot of them have moved to charging more money when you're doing things through PayPal.
Yes.
For a long time, it was friends and family, and then it moved away from friends and family. I think they were having problems getting that through, and so they were looking for an alternative to that. So they started moving to Cash App, and then they moved over to Venmo, but those had a fee too. And then all of a sudden, here comes Zelle with no fee, and everybody
thought it was the greatest thing.
Promise, yes.
And well, also it's backed by your bank as well. It's under your bank account. So you were protected through the bank with Zelle. So you felt a little bit more comfortable with Zelle, right?
Yes. Yep.
And we'll get to Cash App and Venmo and the others after we do Zelle. But the Fed has asked I have to get my handy dandy thing right here because I can't see the print. Hi, Joseph. And hi, Rich Mart and UFO and Crafty Stacker. So alarming surveillance. Feds ask the banks to search private transactions for terms like MAGA, and Trump. And not only that, but the federal investigators have asked them to search for terms like religious text, because that would indicate extremism. But not only have they searched those terms, they asked for terms like Dick's Sporting Goods, Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops, and more, because they say that they're more likely to be extremists because they're probably outdoorsmen. So they're looking at religious terms.
Where are they searching this? Where's the search coming from?
So this is coming from Zelle.
So when you put a note in Zelle, it's searching that?
Yes, it's searching the notes and your purchases from each individual transaction.
So if you pay a church, or if you pay a religious organization, or maybe a right-leaning organization,
and it's singling them out. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, and this was all researched and told to Fox Business News. So,
So Nick, I'm curious real quick. I want to ask the audience, put a 1 in the chat if you guys use Zelle. I'm curious to see how many people do it.
I mean, that's alarming. Hi, fake deputy Gypsy Wolves. I've got a real badge. I'm the law, Gypsy. So Zelle is owned by Bank of America, Chase, JP Morgan.
Okay.
The 3 largest banks are and they're the ones who are giving these transactions to the feds, and they're the ones who are going through it. So, I mean, I think that's alarming because First of all, we have no privacy to what we're doing.
Yeah.
They're saying, and it doesn't matter the amount of the transaction either. They're looking for terms and where you're spending your money. So it has nothing to do with how much. So that's alarming to me because they're singling you out, and it's almost like a little type of a discrimination, kind of.
Well, here's the other thing. When people are using this, they think it's completely anonymous. They think they're just making a transaction. So it's not something they've been concerned about being, careful with or thinking twice about who they're sending the money to.
And this is set up by the House Judiciary Committee. So.
Okay. So they're starting to dig into this stuff.
So they're really starting to dig into this stuff. And that also goes along with PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. And Venmo is owned by PayPal. So our fees keep going up, and we saw that PayPal fees are going up, right? So what they're saying is that the fraud rates on payments through these apps are 3 times to 4 times more than on your debit card or on your regular credit card. So what they're suggesting now is instead of using these apps to go to Zelle. Well, we know how Zelle is too.
So is Zelle running on the FedNow system?
Yes.
Hmm.
It is. So anyways, that was alarming to me. I was actually shocked. And also we do know, and Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal, any transaction $600 and above has to be reported to the feds as well. And that means if you make a purchase or if you're taking money in, either way, it has to be reported.
So if I sell you some silver and I mail it to you and it's over $600, now is that this year or is that next year?
That started last year. That started in 2023. Yes.
So if I send you $600, they're basically thinking that we're doing some kind of business transaction.
Yes. And so, of course, they're wanting to make sure they get all the
tax dollars, right?
Tax dollars, yes. And the people that support the government. So even if I
send money to, let's say my daughters aren't married yet, but let's say they get married, they move away, and I want to send them $600. So now it looks like.
Well, they say if it's friends and family, they're not as concerned with that if it's through friends and family. But again, I don't know how you can determine whether it's friends or family on Cash App. I don't use it enough, or how they determine that on Venmo. But I do know that there is a place on PayPal where it says friends and family. But again,
make a lot of friends then. How's that?
Yes, but there again, right. How many times have you heard on, send it friends and family, don't send it goods and services?
You hear it all the time, but at some point, do they buy it, right? If you're doing like an online service where you're moving a lot of money through that, right? It's one thing if every once in a while I send some money to someone. It's another thing if I'm moving like thousands of dollars a month. So, for me, I do think there's going to be some current concerns on this for anybody that's selling a lot of silver, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, Reddit, wherever they're doing it. If they're using Zelle a lot or these other services, I wonder what that's going to look like. Right.
And then OC Stacker said, can we put in the description donation? I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they would look at that, because then that would be a tax write-off, right? If it's a donation. So that's a tax write-off. So I don't know how that would work.
So OC just donates to everybody.
Well, I mean, that's true though, because when you watch the races, the duck races, they say if you put anything in the description, I believe they tell you to put in donation. So if I'm donating to this,
something there, but those things usually get caught at some point. But that's interesting. Maybe that is a kind of a workaround.
Yeah, I think they're going to get smart to it. But also, what concerned me too, and 3 to 4 times more likely to have fraud on these accounts versus your check card or your bank card.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that is, because does that mean they're getting hacked? Because most of them
they say there's a lot of scammers. They're getting hacked, and it's used on the black market and
people being asked to send money to the wrong account or to a fraudulent account.
And especially hackers. Hackers have become very smart and been able to get into these accounts. PayPal has been breached quite a bit. My account was breached in PayPal. That's why I do not use it anymore. Taxes are donations. I don't know if the government looks at it as such.
Technically, at one time they were. That's not really the case anymore, unfortunately.
Hi, THS and Metal Dragon Braveheart, and Craig. So I just thought it was concerning. But with this research that we've done, I have not found anything that's a good alternative other than cash or check or money
here's
order.
the thing. Yesterday, there was an article that came out from the SWIFT system. So prior to FedNow being created, we have the SWIFT system which allowed the G7 plus a bunch of other countries, I think there's a total of 200, if I remember correctly, are able to move money quickly around the world. And they do that through the SWIFT system. The FedNow system has basically come to create a new highway of transferring money back and forth. I don't know if it's meant to take out SWIFT or not. But what SWIFT talked about, and this is why I don't know if it's to take it out, but it is something that's kind of parallel there. The SWIFT system they talked about in next year coming out with a bunch of cryptocurrencies all over the world. And the cryptocurrencies will be CBDCs. So we've talked about that last year a lot. It's all starting to come back again. And when that's starting to come back out, what that really tells me is that we're looking at something where plans are starting to happen, and all of this seems like it's all kind of, connected to some degree.
Right. And also my husband mentioned, like with Visa and MasterCard, these large banks have been reporting purchases on your credit cards, especially gun owners. If you buy any ammo or guns, these transactions are being reported as well. So with that being said, even if you use Zelle or, the credit cards, that's being reported as well. So that's been singled out too. So it's just nothing is private anymore. Our purchases are not private. They're watching, and it's Big Brother everywhere. So, and of course, we're not doing any illegal activity, of course, but it's the principle behind it.
I agree. And then I've heard a lot about, I don't have the article in front of me, but there's some new like SIC codes that are coming out. And I forget what SIC means exactly, but it's basically categories. So they're starting to get more specific with categories so that they understand if it's ammunition or if it's a handgun or like a rifle.
Yep.
And to me, it looks like it's pointing towards this whole CBDC thing where things are just a lot more tracked. They're known, and they can decide at some point whether you can make it or not, or how much of it you can do.
Well, and then also if you're buying your stocking or stacking ammo, can they, they're seeing those purchases if they're purchased with a credit card or throughout these cash services. They know, and there could become a time where they say, you know what, you've bought your limit, you're done for the year or whatever. And that could happen. I mean, I wouldn't put it past the government to do that. So it's just a matter of privacy and what you're purchasing, and you're a law-abiding citizen. So there's no reason to be watched when it comes to these purchases.
I agree, but I think the motivation behind this, well, there's probably many motivations behind this, but I think one of the big ones is tax dollars.
Yeah.
Inflation is a tax. It's a hidden tax that we all are feeling right now. I'm going to be feeling it really heavily here in California pretty soon when they raise minimum wage for fast food restaurants to $20 an hour. They're not raising anything else, but it's going to start to affect things. We're already hearing about mass layoffs coming to the fast food industry.
Yeah.
They've already raised their prices pretty high. I don't know that people are going to pay $20 for a Chipotle bowl.
No, not when you can very easily make that yourself. I've got several recipes where you can kind of, make it yourself.
Hard. I do love my Chipotle bowls, but at $20, it starts to become very cost ineffective.
I'd rather eat at home anyways. Hi, Steve Woods. I'd rather eat at home. I can make my meals at home a lot better and cheaper, and we can have leftovers. So, and it's better for you. So, but sometimes it's fun to go out, but gosh, just to go to McDonald's for a family of 3 like myself, it's over $30 to $40. Because my husband's not a small guy. He likes to eat. So, it's expensive just to even go to McDonald's. And that's just McDonald's.
There was a stat that came out today from McDonald's. It was like 20 or 30 or 40%, somewhere in that range, of people that are regulars that can't afford it anymore.
Oh, I'm sure.
You guys can go look that up in the news. I can't remember the exact number, but the restaurants are starting to see it hit the bottom line. And when you start laying people off because of costs, then your unemployment rate starts going up. It's going to be hard, and then people are going to be fighting for those jobs too, which is going to be a little crazy. So here in California, we're going to have some inflation kicking in next month, and then I don't know how it's going to trickle out to the rest of everything.
Yeah, people are complaining about getting hours. They're having a hard time finding people to work here in our area in fast foods, and we have too many people that are getting handouts that they're having a hard time finding people that want to work, and especially when we're not very populated. So I mean, even just in like my area alone, within 10 miles of each other, 2-3 Burger Kings shut down.
Oh, no.
I mean, and then we're talking no, and it's because they can't find anyone to work. But I mean, when you have a state that's pretty much living off of handouts, why would they want to work? You're paying them to stay home, so why not? So they're having a hard time.
I mean, there you go. What happens when there's more people that are getting handouts than paying taxes?
That's just it. What's going to happen? What kind of country are we going to become? And that all goes along the lines too of, even with ammunition and stuff, the gun laws. There are some that do not want to see us have guns and as private citizens. They want to take our gun rights away. So, there's just something to be said with them knowing every single purchase. And along with that credit score, ESG, that is starting to be implemented.
Well, it is, but you're also seeing a lot of companies go against ESG and talking away from that. And what I'm noticing with the ESG thing is, I don't know that it's going away. It might be coming under a different name.
I think so as well. I know it's been starting to be implemented in my husband's bank, and he's seeing that every day more and more. And with our purchases being tracked and stuff, they're able to deduct us and that would be our credit score. That goes against your credit score.
Yep.
I mean, your carbon footprint can go against your credit score. I mean, I don't think that's the way the country should go, but here we are.
I agree. So it's not just your credit score. It's kind of like your carbon score too. And it's kind of like, how much are you consuming? But every time I see it, it all seems to go back to taxes is kind of the main thing. And so, the idea is, hey, everything's really expensive. We need more taxes. So we're going to tax everything that's going on. Mm-hmm. It's just another form of control stuff. I mean, we don't even need to be paying the taxes that we're paying. They just keep printing money. Why not just keep printing more money? Now that causes inflation, but they could get, they could pay the taxes just by printing more money. I'm not saying that's a good idea, but they could. And
because they know it's not backed up. That money's not backed up. It means nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes along the same lines of us giving money to other countries, but here we are. We have to borrow that money to give to other countries, right?
Totally.
And
so here's the other question I've got for you, Nick, too. Does this start to put things in a, does it start to give more importance to local, to buy local, to be local? Does it start to give a little bit more credence to, using cash more when you can, even if it's, a little harder to deal with cash in certain places? But I'm almost wondering if we're going to start to see more of an uptick in that.
Hi, Diane's Cabin. I don't think so. And I don't think so because I think we are creating a generation of the here and I want it now. And if you are purchasing local, sometimes businesses aren't open like 24 hours like the internet is, and you can't have it here tomorrow. And hi, Victoria. I think that we're raising kids of now. I want it today. I'm not going to wait. And buying local or using cash, and it's going to take more time, I believe, than if you were to just purchase off the internet with your card. And I mean, I'm guilty of that myself. I mean,
do you ever order from Amazon?
Books. I do. I do not buy from Amazon. My kid does all the time. And I'm like, I hate Amazon. So we had a little contest, and so she wanted to buy a couple things, and I said, I bet I could find it cheaper than you finding it on Amazon. She's like, I bet you can't. I did. It just took me
Yeah.
more time to find it, but I mean, I find better deals than I see on Amazon. But again,
For,
she's
for
like,
yeah, for
she's
us at Amazon is convenience.
mhm,
A lot of people don't know when you buy from Amazon, you can actually go and check the price that you see for an item. If there's multiple people selling it, isn't always the
mhm,
lowest price. They have kind of a round robin that they do. So there's a little bit of an algorithm that's going on there too. If you go and see other people that are selling a similar item, sometimes you can find a lower price with it too. So just be aware of
mhm.
that. But I sold my Amazon store a couple of years ago, and so I've always had kind of a love-hate with Amazon. We've used them a lot, made money from them too, but there's a lot of issues I have with them. You know, you have to do a lot of advertising on Amazon to sell your stuff. It's kind of a conflict. It's a conflict of interest. But we can get things in like an hour or 2 or 3 hours, Nick, from the time you order it on Amazon.
From Amazon. Oh my gosh. So I don't do Amazon Prime because I'm not going to get mine here even within 2 days. Our
Yeah.
mail system in my area is so slow, and we've been having some issues with our post office lately. So, and even, the government's had to get involved, even though it is a government agency, but they want to close down one of the distribution centers, which in our rural area, I mean, people getting their medications and, things that are sent to them and that they need in a timely fashion are not getting them. So it's been quite a problem. And they kind of went on a mini strike at this particular plant because they wanted to show how slow the mail would go if they were to close that particular plant. So like in my area, I have to go through southern Maine to central Maine to another post office and to another post office. So we're going through like 4 different places in my state alone just to get a piece of mail to me.
Yeah, that's
But
you
we are
you
so rural. I mean,
you do live by Bigfoot then, I guess.
I really do. And we are so rural though. There's no other way around it. And also they're having a hard time staffing the post office.
Yeah, well, where I'm at, I mean, we've got a couple post offices by us and UPS stores. I think the Amazon truck makes like 50 visits to the street we're
Or
on per
yeah,
day.
no,
It's different Amazon trucks too for
yeah,
different houses.
Amazon is like a 5-day trip for me, 4
But at
day trip.
the
I
same
don't
time,
know.
it takes me like
Mhm.
3 or 4 leaps out my back door and I've hit my wall, right?
It,
So
yeah.
we don't get a lot of land here. Everybody's kind of, up on top of each other. Um, if you say something loud enough in your house, a neighbor might hear it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny because, like even this weekend when we got some snow, we haven't been able to snowmobile this year because we haven't had any snow. And we still really didn't have enough to snowmobile like on the trail. So we were going around my yard, and it was actually fun because I have a big yard that we could snowmobile in. So
Yeah.
I
You
can't
couldn't even turn
imagine.
one around.
See, I
Try
couldn't
to turn a
imagine that.
snowmobile around in my yard, you'd hit the walls. You couldn't do it.
Yeah. So my daughter got on the four-wheeler and I'm here on the snowmobile chasing each other. It was a hoot.
No, that sounds
It was
fun.
fun. So, yeah, we had a good time doing that. When you don't have the pool, you gotta, improvise, do other things. But
I think that's great. Well, Nick, I was going to ask you too. Have you found any good auctions lately?
well, I always go to the Durbin's auction
Yeah.
and Can's auction and Coin Op. I like their auction for numismatic coins. I'm still finding great deals. But I've also been going to my local auctions as well on Sundays, every other Sunday, and I've been finding great deals as well. But I purchased a couple things at the Durbin's yesterday. So I think
So
everybody should check
what
them
are you
out.
looking for right now?
I don't know until I see it, what I'm looking for. But right now I want
Are you
generic.
looking for a
And as
certain kind of deal, or are you just looking for, you've got a lot of things in your mind. You're just trying to see what might pop in, or what are you thinking?
no, I'm wanting generic silver as close to spot as I can find it.
Okay.
And I still am a sucker for the Walking Liberty. So if I see a pretty lady, I'm gonna bid. Um, I mean, I just love them. And that's where I got half my collection, I think, came out of Joe and Diane Durbin's auction. Um, but yeah, it's just most stacking. I wanted as close to spot as I can get it. Numismatic coins, I'm still, for the walkers, but kind of changed the way my collections because I've already, I've completed the collection. So, I did pick up a cream and sugar sterling silver cream and sugar from my local auction this past Sunday
Ooh,
for about
okay.
25 bucks. Come to find out, it's Italian sterling silver, and I probably gained 5 times what I spent. So I'll be putting that
Are you
out.
going to sell that one too?
Oh yes, I've already sold that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you did. Okay.
I did.
Well,
Yes.
that's
Yes. When of course, my guy. Steve was like, I could have that sold, so we're getting it sold. But I knew better. I knew when I got it at the price I did, I knew I was going to make some money off that. So then I'll in turn it around and I'll purchase, something for my own stack. So I'm really not spending my own money really when I'm buying stuff. I'm kind of flipping stuff right now.
okay. And then do you have a goal for any of the profits you make?
More than what I paid.
I mean, like, are you turning them into anything? Is there stuff you're holding on to, or are you just having fun with it?
Oh
Trying to,
no, it's not. No, I'm dumping it. It's if I know there's money to be made and I find something at these local auctions, I'm going ahead and flipping it, and then I'm in turn putting it into something that for my stack.
okay.
For
So
example,
what are you personally holding on to these days?
well, my Walker collection, and then you just regular, well, constitutional silver as well.
Okay.
And right now too, I still want to purchase gold at, even though the spot price is higher. I still think it's important to stay consistent. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm kind of doing the same thing. I'm selling some of my gold coins on eBay that had some higher premiums on them. The problem is sometimes I think I've got it figured out on what I can sell these at and still come out on them, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's like break even on some of this stuff. So that's not the greatest thing I want to do. So I'm just kind of contemplating if I'm going to keep doing that. But as far as what I'm picking up, mostly constitutional silver right now. So I picked up I want to say it was 25, a combination of Peace and Morgan dollars for $25 each.
Mhm.
So about 25 of those over the weekend, and then I picked up a bunch of walkers that were in decent shape. You could see the dates, so they're a little bit worn, but not too bad. And then I picked up a bunch of Mercury dimes, which was great.
Yeah, I try to get quarters or dimes. I really like the rosy dimes if I'm going to buy dimes. But at that my local auction, I was able to pick up a roll of quarters, and I got them at 15.50 face.
There
So,
you go.
but again, this local auction, it won't be long before I'm not able to find these deals anymore, because that's what happens when I find a honey hole. It doesn't take long, so I try to capitalize on it when I can. So I
Yeah.
think it was about maybe a month ago. I think I purchased a Morgan for 50 bucks and then flipped it for 400 at that particular auction that I purchased it.
That's not bad. Was it graded?
No, it was not graded.
So how did you find out it was worth more?
Well, I knew it was worth more because I knew the date, and I knew about what it would be graded as. And this came out of somebody's estate. It looked really nice, and so I did a little bit of research beforehand, because you're able to, because they give you the catalog before the auction, at least a week before the auction. So I go through it and I do my research, and then I knew. But I also had a price in mind that I wouldn't go over, that I knew that I could not do anything with it if I went over this particular price. So and I just went out at 50 bucks. So and it was a rainbow. I mean, it was the prettiest rainbow I've ever seen. And I know people go cuckoo over the rainbow when it they like the taste of the rainbow when it comes on their Morgans. And I knew that had a little bit of a premium as well, and it did. So when I sent the picture to Steve right after I purchased it, and I said, "Do you think you can sell that?" And he says, "Yes." How much you want for it? I said, "You do what you can." He goes, "Would 400 be okay?" I was like, "Well, yeah," because I was expecting 200 maybe. So I
Okay.
was pleased. So I was pleased when he said 400.
That's
Are
awesome.
these in-person auctions? They are in-person auctions, Steve, and online auctions through Auction Zip. So I tend to like to do it online, so you can watch them, or you could be there in person to do it as well. But I just, since it's right down the road for me, I'll just do it from my couch, and I'll go pick it up that next. So if I purchase, the auctions are usually on Sunday, they have a pickup on Monday morning.
So
I go
have
pick
you
it up.
Nick, have you picked
Yes,
up any estate sales or any yard sales, or are you have you
not
done that?
yours. I have done that, but it's too cold right now for yard sales.
Yeah, a little
So,
too cold right
so
now. But
yeah.
is that something you're going to be looking at in the
I
summer?
always I always try, but I've never seen any type of coins or so. I mean, I would absolutely if I saw it at the yard sale, but I have never ran into that. Plus, I don't have the patience either for yard sales because you really have to get up, early and be out there early, and be on your game. And sometimes, it's having to. My mother's so good at that. Like, well, they'll map out the different, areas and do all that, and I'm just like, no, unless they have an app for that, I don't. I'm not interested. So,
Oh
you know.
man.
But do you have
Yeah,
those? Do you have those in Cali? Do you have yard sales?
we do have yard sales. They're not super common where I live, but there are places that do them. Um, what I am looking to try to do this year is ask them if they have any coins that they're looking to get rid of.
Oh yeah, I guess suppose you could do that. Yep.
Because I've never seen anybody with like a bowl of coins sitting there. It's usually just a bunch of like video games, and
Hmm.
here there's always a surfboard out there in a wetsuit, and then there's just all kinds of other random stuff. Um, but I'm what I'm finding is that a lot more people have coins than they're not stackers, but they have some coins they've gotten from someone, and they just sit there. They don't really know what to do with them.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm hoping that we'll be able to find more of those people that are maybe doing garage sales that are looking to just make a few dollars on it. And if you've got someone that's got a bunch of constitutional silver, you can probably pick it up at a pretty good price,
Hmm.
and they'll probably be pretty happy to receive that. It's not
Yeah.
doing them any good right now.
Gold Maple made the comment, many Canadians where I live can't afford to buy gold. It's 2,800 per ounce in Canada. Um, I don't purchase one. When I purchase gold, it's not a 1 ounce because I can't afford that either. And I know, yes, there's a higher premium on the smaller 1/10s. And I'm okay with that as long as I don't go over a 15% premium because I've seen them up as high as 21% premium. If I stay at 15 or below, and I've been very diligent about that. I've 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 made money, especially when I was picking it up when it was $1,600 an ounce. So it's I am a lot of people don't like fractional gold because of that, but I'm a big advocate for it because and I haven't gone wrong with it yet.
Yeah, I think I used to pick up 1/10 ounces when they were in the low 200s. Now it's kind of in the mid 200s. Um, but you're starting to see a lot of those go up into the 300 range. And when you get into that 300 range, you're getting to that high premium.
And
So
that's
I think we
another
got to
good
be careful on that.
It's a good point, Surfer, is what Steve just said. And, we don't have to just be looking for coins either. You could be looking at
Mm.
jewelry at these yard sales and it be gold. I mean, you're going to make money off that too. So, it's something maybe that you could flip and purchase a coin or two, or, but Steve's done really well at yard sales in his area, picking up things and then selling it. So, that's a good point, especially broken jewelry and that people just don't want. Um,
I think it's a really good point. And then the other thing I had thoughts on with that too is it's just in general with garage sales too. If you're wanting to stack more gold and silver, you might be able to find other items that are there too that you could resell.
Hi,
A lot of
Riot.
people do not want to take the time to do that, but if you have a way of either fixing something up, repairing it, and
Hmm.
flipping it, that might
Well,
be another
and
way to get some extra money.
that all goes along too with like the cream and sugar that I bought that was sterling silver, and make sure it's not plated. This is not plated. I always look at the description. If it says plated, I don't want anything to do with it because but with this particular set, and then it being the Italian silver, it's very desirable. So I in turn, flip that and then put it back into my stack or buy coins with it. But it's been a long time since I've just taken money out of a paycheck or whatever to buy something because I'm looking at, like the Tiffany's jewelry that I had purchased. I flipped that. Um, and then I put it back into coins or gold and put it in my stack.
That's awesome. I think that's a great way to add to your stack
Mm.
is being able to make a little bit of money from things.
And why not? Because I'm seeing a lot of that come up lately, especially at these estate sales. Now, there was one auction I was getting a lot of stuff from, and it was my friend's auction in Michigan. Hi, Sergeant Gold. Thank you. Actually, it's having a bad hair day. I just come in from outside and it's raining now. Now the snow's all going away. We're getting rain.
Right.
But at my friend's local auction, at her auction, I was getting a lot of stuff. and now it's not a honey hole anymore. So I was looking at pre 33 gold, and my gosh, it's gone well over what that piece is worth now. So they're selling things, and it's just well more than things are worth. So I'm not.
A lot of that seems to be. Anymore. It seems like you can find more deals on pre 33 gold right now than in the past. You know, and maybe part of that is maybe pre 33 gold's kind of held its price. It hasn't moved up with the bullion. I know a lot of times pre 33 will do better than bullion when you get into a real, you know, bull run on gold.
I love gold too.
So anyway, that's, you know, I'm seeing that stuff. I'm looking right now for constitutional mostly is what I'm looking at. I may pick up, you know, some more rounds as I see those, but it's all going to be on price. It's really hard. What I find hard with stacking is I've got these ideas of price in my head, right? I think anything over 2,000 for gold is really expensive, and anything over $27 for silver is really expensive.
That's different when you're, you know, if I'm at an auction for charity and stuff, I will pay a little over too. So I get that, but great purchase. Absolutely. And St. Jude's is a great organization. I think about 100% of the proceeds go to St. Jude's too. They don't have a lot of overhead that they pay. So that's, I always make sure with charities, you know, how much are they paying to the charity and how much is going to their overhead. And I think St. Jude's is almost 100% goes to the charity. So no, yeah. So I was shocked that I was able to get the constitutional for $15.50 face. And
the going rate, if you can get anything below 19, you're getting a great price right now.
Yes,
so
for the price of silver.
$15.50 is someone didn't know what was going on, Nick, and you got lucky on that auction. I think that's going to be a hard one to find right now.
It's not going to be long before this auction takes off, though. And also, I'm waiting to see if I've won the Tiffany napkin rings. I did have somebody trying to go against me right now, so I'm almost at my limit to where I say, nope, I'm not doing any more. So I just really hope this person.
Do these auctions take like days to complete?
Some of them do. The one that I have been at lately it's every other Sunday, so I know it's every other Sunday. So this other particular auction I found in this like 3 weeks, I'm like, oh, I hate the wait. And then when I see in my email somebody's outbidded you, and then it just, you know, gets all over me. You know, I guess I could bully them if I went to the auction because they will have them there. So, but I'm not gonna.
If you go to the auction, then maybe you'll win more coins. Who knows?
I could bully them. Like I bully people. I do bully people in Diane Durbin's auction and Joe Durbin's auction sometimes.
Yeah, Eagle Steve wants to know if you held a gun to their head to get that price.
No. Nobody was bidding. I mean, I didn't think I was going to get it, and then I bought two sunshine rounds, vintage sunshine rounds for $23 a piece.
Yeah. Well, here's a comment from Silver Wolverine, Nick, too, that I think this is kind of what I was talking about too. It's every time you get into a cycle where the prices are moving up, it becomes a little bit harder to make that first decision to say, okay, I'm going to still be buying at that price.
Yeah.
There's an emotional connection to that. And so I think people that were buying it at 1,100 right now would have a harder time paying $2,300 for gold if they're buying a full ounce.
Right. I just try to stay consistent and steady. And then if I don't have the money, I don't do it. Right. If you don't have the funds, don't do it. Don't get yourself into trouble using credit, and just because you think or FOMO, or if it's gone down and you want to get the dip, or, you know, don't do that. Do it when you can. And I think that's helpful. Hi, Silver Heist.
Silver Heist, welcome.
Tiffany Silver. I love Tiffany's. I do. And it's brought in a good bit of money when I find it at an auction and I get it that inexpensive. So I always do look for the Tiffany stuff because people go cuckoo over the name of Tiffany's. It's amazing.
I think I have a new logo for you with you wearing a tiara.
A tiara. I thought we were going to have burn these.
Yeah, they didn't
burn our tiaras.
Yeah. You can wear it. I'm not wearing it anymore.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah.
That's
No, but
funny though.
Tiffany's, I mean, I do look out for that stuff. And that was at my local auctions as well. And I was like, nobody's bidding on this stuff. Are they nuts? But I am going to keep these, the napkin rings, the silver napkin rings from Tiffany's, because I'll probably use them on my table. So,
Well, I think, I think we're running into a couple dynamics. I'm seeing a lot of people that are wanting to unload silver. So I've got friends that are calling me up and saying, hey, I've got a bunch of constitutional silver. I think this is a fair price. Are you willing to do it?
why are
And
they trying to move it? Are they trying to move it because of the spot price and they want to make money, or
no,
what is it?
they're moving it because they don't understand it. It's their grandma
Oh,
passed.
okay. Mm-hmm.
So they want to get rid of some silver. I'm seeing some people unloading their silver because they need to pay for bills.
Mm,
So I'm not aware of anybody that's selling because they think the price is going to go down right now and they're trying to unload their silver. I do know one gentleman that's reached out to me that's trying to sell a pretty good size amount of silver, mainly because it hasn't moved and he does a lot of investing. So to him, it's
okay.
just not been a very good investment for him. And will he move that? I don't know. Silver's
Does
jumped
he
up.
understand that it's really not that much, an investment? It's
Yeah, no, he gets. I mean, this guy's
okay.
above all of us
Okay.
on all this stuff. Um,
Go tell them to put it in a Coinstar. Go tell them to jump into the Coinstar so we can find it.
it's like bars and stuff. So
Oh yeah. Okay.
kilos and stuff. I don't. What are you gonna do with the kilo? You're gonna probably sell it to a store or to a refinery or to a dealer. But that's what I'm seeing. But what I'm curious about is if as inflation continues to go up, if wages don't match that. People that do have silver, it is a form of savings. It is something you can use for money. Will people start selling more and more of their silver to just make ends meet? That's one thing I'm kind of concerned about.
Mm.
Will
Well,
they end up flooding the market with it?
yeah. Well, it's what it's there for.
It
If they
is.
need it, right? I mean, and to pay bills instead of going, other means of credit cards, and it's better to do that than go into debt, I suppose.
Yeah, I get it. So
Good night, so Wolverine. And it's too bad that people have to do that, but I think I mean, it's protection. And so if you run into that where you need it, at least you have it to do so.
it is. So one of the most
Scary.
important things I think is building your community and your network. Um, a lot of people are afraid to tell anybody that they have gold and silver or they do any kind of stacking. There's a lot of channels of our friends that do stacking channels that don't show their face.
Hmm.
I can understand the concern for it, but at the same time, as people start to find out and know about this, you may get a call someday that says, "Hey, I know someone that needs to just unload this. Can you help them?"
Hmm.
So you're going to find more and more opportunities like that, just from having a channel or sharing it with other people that you do some of that.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that's okay. It's one thing to help them know that you do that. It's another thing to like show your whole stack or tell them how much money you have in it when you
Right.
store.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
risk.
I would never do that. And really, that's none of anybody's business. And I don't really, ask people what they have either. but but if I'm looking for something, or if somebody else is looking for something, to ask and say, hey, do you have this? I think is fine.
Yeah, that's true. So anything else that you've got on your mind right now, Nick, that you're thinking of, either gold and silver or the subject of some of these apps that we've been
These
using?
apps, I mean, what's on my mind is I wish I could find a better alternative than what we have available to us. And I think I said that with PayPal, my account had been hacked twice, so I won't use PayPal anymore. And then you also have the Google Pay, right? That's another one that people use, and that as well is just as fraud rates up on that as well. So, and I thought for me it was Zelle. I thought Zelle was the thing in the one to use, and I think that's the worst of them all. But I have other articles that say Venmo and Cash Apps are a scammer's paradise. Go for Zelle. um, so I a
Yeah,
little bit.
I honestly just think I think
It's
if
going
things
away.
continue on the trajectory that we're on, I think everything's just going. We're going to lose the anonymity except for cash and
I mean,
gold and
do
silver.
we have any? I mean, do we have any anymore? Anyways,
Only
I
if you're
think
making
it's
a transaction that. I mean, look, I don't know. I get weird things on my cell phone where I'll be talking about something and the next ad that shows up is what I talked about. The phone was off. Um, that's the industry I'm in. I'm not aware of any technology that's really tracking that at all times, but that's kind of odd. But let's see, what does he say here? Hampton Pay. There you go.
it's.
But
I
I
use.
think they track everything now, Nick. So I think the only thing you can truly get away with is cash transactions or kind of bartering with coins. That's about it. Everything
For
else is
peer
going
to
to
peers to do it, yeah, privately. But again, how are we going to get money to each other? That's what we do, right? We use PayPal. We use. You can have. Oh, you're sweet, George Matthews.
Yeah, I'm not going to send you money. I'm not going to send you a bunch of silver coins so that I can buy your silver coins. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Mm. Yeah.
Unless
So I mean,
or something.
and and a lot of people have success with PayPal and all these others, but I'm just concerned with how much they're reporting. Hi, Silver Hair Seeker. I mean, it's very concerning to me. I don't know. How do you feel about that? Them knowing all this information, and that for them to be searching terms, religious terms, for them to be searching, for what terms did I give you?
Well,
Even
a lot of that's going to be a good chunk of that is based on political affiliations and
right,
religious
and
affiliations.
yep.
So some of that's going to depend on who's in power at the time.
But even
Um,
Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's,
yeah.
sporting goods. I mean, and lumping you into a category of you could be, and especially with religious extremism, that's quite a
Well,
stretch.
look. The term used to be, terrorism. If you're labeled a terrorist, then all
Mhm.
these things change, and they can wiretap you and check all this stuff out. Now it's who's an extremist, someone that has an extreme view from the popular view. Well, what's the popular view? It's whatever the people in charge deem to be the popular view.
Mhm.
So they see all of those things as the opposite of the people that they want to have in power and control. They see the opposite party and they try to go after that. So that's what all that stuff is.
And
And it's not a good move. I
it
wouldn't.
goes along too with
If it was
where
going the other way, I'd be mad too. If it was going the other direction and we were checking everything out for what other kind of places people go to.
and isn't
They,
it rich that it's the three largest banks that own Zelle. And talking about the banking system, I really feel like that's once it all the banking does really start to go downhill. I think we'll be left with three large banks. And
well, yeah,
and
who owns the banks though? The banks are owned by Vanguard, State Street, and BlackRock.
BlackRock, right? And that's another
They
conversation for
own a
another
majority,
day.
like the largest shareholders are those three companies, and
Yeah,
so
and I know they have their hands on a lot of banking. They have their hands on a lot of people's 401k. I mean, they are everywhere. And that's something that's I'd that's a conversation for another day. Is
yeah,
BlackRock, I
yeah.
think. Yeah. So you have these three large banks, and I feel like eventually will be three large banks left standing until you get to that one bank, right? And then and it's just a coinkydink, all these particular three banks are, are in with the government giving the information that they want. I mean, it just reiterates, where we're headed.
I agree. So my hope is pendulums
Mm.
always swing. They swing
I
one
didn't
way.
know that they would reject you. Steve said PayPal will reject you for buying certain items.
I haven't seen that yet, but
I haven't seen that yet, but I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah, but Nick, pendulums always swing, right? They swing from one side to the other. When we swing to a side where everything's being very much controlled, I'm hoping that it can swing the other direction where people decide, hey, we don't want that. We don't want the traceability of everything. I don't know though.
Yeah. But that is true. I know. But you go to lunch and you're like, okay, well, pay me through Venmo and I'll pay whatever. And it's like that's how they do. Um, I carry cash on me. Um, I don't have a
I,
lot of
I,
cash on me at times, but I do carry
I
cash.
do. I do carry cash, but too many of my transactions are on a credit card.
Mine.
Um,
Well, again, so that's how the banks get you too. So, if you use your credit card, you get points and get money back, right? So they make it an incentive for you to do that. And I love to save money. So yes, I use that incentive that if I
well,
use so much, I'm getting my cash back on my
here,
cards.
here's another thing we'll have to look at, but like Delta Airlines makes a ton of money. And I think it's one of their main revenue sources is their credit cards and the revenue that comes in off the credit cards versus just the airlines. I got to look into that again, but it's a massive percentage of their revenue comes in off credit cards.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, at the end of the year, sometimes we can buy Christmas with it. So yes, as long as you guys can use the credit card and you're paying it back instead of letting the interest accumulate and purchases keep going, but um, you can get a lot of cash back, and that's a great incentive.
Yeah, I agree. So it's, if you really look at it, to me, it seems like this has been something in the works for a very long time. They got you started into doing credit. Nick, do you remember the credit cards when you had to put it into the little swiping machine that had the
Mhm,
paper that went over it
mhm,
and they'd swipe it
mhm.
back and
Oh
forth?
yeah, yep.
And then they would basically have to send those in to get their payments. I don't know how that worked for business very well, but
Oh, now you
uh,
can just tap it, the thing. You don't even have to
now you
swipe
can tap
it.
it. And then I've been reading more on tokenization, where there is kind of the idea of being able to like fractionalize things that you own. So if you want to like get a loan on your TV, maybe you basically get an extra $200 and someone owns a portion of that TV. I don't know how that's going to work exactly, but that could be interesting. Yeah, I think that's probably going to happen.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm just still dumbfounded that we couldn't find a great alternative. Now, what about crypto? I know that you were going to talk a little bit about crypto and using that to pay with. I know you could
You
purchase
can,
you can
you
make
can.
purchases of your
So
gold and silver through with crypto. Some
yeah,
governments actually are taking crypto for tax money. If you owe in your taxes, some local governments will take that as, but not all, but some will take crypto as payment.
yeah. I'm not aware of anybody that does that, but there are ways to do peer-to-peer payments.
Hmm.
So if you've got crypto, I can send you crypto in exchange for something, and you send me the item, or I can exchange it for another crypto. So you can do that. There are ways to do that, and that works as long as those services are available. Crypto does have one big advantage over gold and silver, which is sending long transactions quickly. It can do that. But you can also do that with all these other services we're talking about. It just depends on how you want to play it and which ones you want to be involved in.
I
Crypto,
concur
crazy.
with
Yeah.
Lady Spitfire because I mean, I did well on one time with crypto, and then I'm like, I'm not doing it again because I can't get that lucky again. And because it was just like I put $100 in and I cashed it out at 2,500, and that was, for me, it was just luck because I don't know much about it. It was Bitcoin. So I don't know. It's like I feel like if I pay you, we'll say, with Bitcoin, I'm like, well, how are the ratios? How do I know how much to give you? Because it's like up this much today, and then it's up at this amount today. So it's so different in the even at different times. It's at so I don't know. I just really.
Well, but to your point, I mean, what I didn't hear you say is that you had crypto because it was a great way to store your money, or
Mm-mm.
you love saving that way. Most people that are playing crypto are trying to get rich quick.
Oh no, I knew that. I put in as much money as I was
They're
okay
in it
with
for the trade.
losing. So if I was okay with losing $100, but I was not okay. And I know it's not that much, but I was not okay with losing more than $100. But I was like, if I do this and I try this, I'm okay with that. That's the only reason why I chose that amount.
But why did you put it in there in the first place?
Because I mean, everybody, I can't believe I've just said
Everybody
that.
was
Everybody was doing it. everybody was doing it at the time.
It was to get a
Somehow,
gain, right? It was to
it
have
was,
your money go up.
yeah, and I wanted to have a gain, but I was like, this is crazy. It's crazy that I'm doing this. But yes, I wanted to see it grow.
Yeah.
To test the waters. There you go. That's the way to put it. To test the waters. But then I tested it and I did well, and I wasn't about to put my feet back in again.
Yeah, I look at it and I think crypto has a place for people that are trying to do day trading, that want to play these markets that go up and down. It's very volatile. You can probably make some good money from that.
Mhm.
If you pick the right ones and they happen to
Somebody
blow up,
double
you can
dared me.
make a ton of money from it too. But I definitely would never put any of my wealth in there, because it's just too unstable, and there's nothing tangible that you get in return for it.
I'm not okay. Nick, I'm not okay with losing any money. Well, Eagle Steve, it was like I wanted people were making a lot of money with this. And at the time that I did it, it was a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago. It was very new, and it was people were just starting to talk about it. And Bitcoin was it too. There wasn't as much other cryptos to choose from as there is right now. And that's what it just, I can't wrap my brain around it. There's too much. I'm like, where do I go with it? There's so many. And I do believe it's going to be government regulated soon. I don't think that it's going to be a wild, wild west anymore. I think that this is going to be stopped.
Well, so to that point, Nick, what happens when they regulate it to the point where people don't believe they can make crazy gains anymore? I'm guessing they pull their money out of it.
Yeah, then that's going to be a real problem, isn't it?
So I could see most of them crashing down to zero, with a few of them hanging around.
Yeah, and then you're going to have a lot of upset people, because a lot of people are not going to pull out when it's time, and they're going to lose out on a lot of money.
Well, yeah, because let's say there's 10 people that all put $1 in, okay, and then that one and the price goes all the way up to $20, because that's kind of how crypto works. It goes up higher than what was necessarily put in there. There's this belief it's going to go even higher, so people keep paying more and more for it, because people take some of the money off. If all of a sudden you've got the ability to hurry and sell it all, you can be the person that walks away with $8 or $9 of that, and the rest of the people walk away with hardly anything. It's maybe not the best analogy, but it kind of works that way too, where not everybody's going to take out what they put in. Other people are going to be taking out at a higher price, and they're going to get more benefit out of it.
Yes. Let me see. Hi, freaking awesome. I hope you're doing wicked awesome today. I have some eagles from China that everyone is buying. How many? How many did you purchase from China, OC? I think you should keep those. I think that should be your punishment.
Oh my gosh. OC, don't buy any eagles from China. Bad idea. I know you didn't, but bad idea.
Just remember, NSA got their tracking system from him.
So I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think it's probably too late for a lot of this tracking stuff. They have enough information on you to know your behavior and your preferences and your thoughts. Our hope at this point is that good people are running things so that bad stuff doesn't happen.
I mean, I don't know how that would happen either, but I think that is coming. I think that they will find a way. The government's going to find a way, because they're going to have their own type of digital currency, and they're not going to want the competition.
So what they can do, for anybody that's got a question on that, they can make it so that it's illegal for you to self-custody.
Either I don't.
They can make that illegal, and if they find out you're self-custodying cryptos, you could be held, under some kind of a penalty. Yeah. So either a financial one or a criminal one. Laws can do that, even though you may have your crypto on a wallet, and you might hide that, or you have a code in your head. You may have to go to another country to access that. It may not be legal to own it while you're in the U.S.
Good night, George Matthews. And right. Of course, that's not anonymous either, crypto, like people think it is. No. I mean, you're on platforms buying this through Coinbase. They know your information. They know who's purchasing it. It's not anonymous. I know that there are ways you can get it to be anonymous, correct? But I don't think that that's anonymous.
Yeah, so there's a way you can get some hardware wallets where you don't have to say who you are right off the bat. And you could do some peer-to-peer transfers from someone that's mining And what does that say?
You don't like ASCs from China, $2.99. They're so cheap.
If they are $2.99 and they're from China, they're guaranteed to be coasters or paperweights for you. Guaranteed. But anyway, so it's not totally anonymous. There are ways to kind of do it. It's going to take a lot of work, and I don't know how long you're going to be able to stay anonymous for it. So that's another concern I have, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the government I mean, they're going to do what they want to do, and I think that they're making their own digital currency, and they don't want the competition. Period.
That's my guess. But here's the thing, Nick. Let's say they come out with their own digital currency. The government does, and a lot of other governments do too. And let's say they start regulating crypto really hard. What are they going to do to gold and silver? Are they going to leave that alone, or are they going to try to regulate that or tax it?
Well, it's already being taxed, right? I know I'm being taxed on it. It's already being taxed. I'm buying money.
You have a tax to it?
I don't know. I don't think so. I hope not. But I mean, when I buy a Walking Liberty, let's say, and I buy it in my state, I'm buying money and I'm paying taxes on money I'm buying.
Yeah,
that's crazy. It's hard for me to fathom that, but I'm paying 5.5% on it. And and I'm buying money, you know? And then if I decide to sell that in my state, I have to pay what I made off it. So I'm being taxed twice on the front end and the back end. So they're getting enough taxes off me from gold and silver.
And then your silver and gold goes up due to inflation, and they tax you a third time on that inflation difference, right? I guess it's kind of the second way, but they're basically counting that as gains, not as hedge.
Right. So,
it is what it is. So the one thing though that gold and silver have going for it is I can technically give you a handshake and do some kind of a transaction, and I don't know what's in my hand that I gave to you.
I don't know what that is. Money lion.
I don't know what that is.
And that even goes back to LLCs. So even if you have a business we'll say within your coins, and it's a business and it's an LLC, you still have to now register with the government if you are 20 employees or under.
Well, here's the thing. Most of us, if we have LLCs on here, don't really want our address being out there publicly.
No.
Okay? You can't totally help that. So a lot of us will hide our name. Some of us will hide our face, hoping that no one's going to find out. This new rule is going to make it so that your business is completely tied to your home address now. That's part of
Yes. Yeah.
And let's just hope it never gets hacked and spilled out there. Because that's
because that's never happened before, right? That's never going to happen. PO box, true,
but PO box. It has to be
your physical. They want your physical address where you are, not a PO box. And they'll probably have you list both. I hide my face. I've seen your face, though. I've seen you. Nickel, you haven't hid it all that well. You better go back because I've seen you.
Nickel, you're doing the face reveals with your coins, probably.
No, I don't. I remember him. I don't think that he did not mean to, but he had a cap on. A sweet.
So look, you may be able to get away with some other addresses. You got to go talk to your CPA about this. Or sorry, actually,
right now they
has to do it.
I think it was an Alabama Supreme Court that has said it was unconstitutional. So right now it's null and void. But the Treasury Department has put that on appeal. So I have a feeling it's going to win out.
Let's hope it doesn't go through. But if it does, you guys, they've thought of everything. The whole idea is to know your home address. So if you find a loophole, let me know. I'd like to know it because I'd rather not have my personal address on there. That's why
I would too, but I think that they have thought this through, and there is a reason why they were doing this. And I mean, they're targeting small businesses because you think about it, 20 employees or under, that's the threshold. So
yeah, I mean, if you have an LLC, you can't just go hire 20 people real quick.
Right. No, look at my bling bling, Nickel.
Look at that. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
I think you need to do a Trax New York on that thing. And
I wore this all Celtics game with my sweatshirt on, of course, and stuff.
I know, but Nick, you got to walk into Manhattan, wherever that jewelry store is.
Oh, I would. I'd be so.
The Diamond District. Walk in with that and just be like,
Can I
"Can
have
you
this?
clean this thing out? How much would it cost?"
Yeah. I
That'd be a
mean,
great video.
I couldn't wait to get this at the store, and I probably
Cheesecake.
could have waited until after and got it in the store, but I wanted it to wear throughout the whole game. And it's heavy. It's not light, but it was fun.
Yeah,
It was
that's
fun.
true.
Good night, Steve Woods. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Tiger.
So this is good advice, you guys. Always look at that. Maybe you'll find one that has a better idea on how to address your situation on that.
Yes, I do. I do my own taxes, but I've been to tax school, so I am certified by the
But
IRS
like
to do
the
taxes.
situation isn't about the storefront. The situation is if you have less than 20 people, they want to know your personal address.
Yes,
They don't want you to be anonymous. They want to make sure you're not money
you're just
laundering
a
and
rat home girl.
their stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll go out with the tiara and the
Yeah.
bling.
So Nick, talk about Tracks New York. Look at this. Today he did another short, or at least Craig saw it today, handing out gold bars. I know he does that from time to time.
Oh my gosh, we so need to go there and walk down that street then.
Well, here's what I've seen him do. I've seen him do the gold bars, and it's 1 ounce gold bar, and he'll say, "Do you want the gold bar or do you want $1,000 cash?" And the people will go, "I'll take $1,000 cash." So he gives them the $1,000 cash, and he says, "You're stupid," and he throws $1,000 up in the air behind him, away from that person. And he kind of blocks that person from going to get any more of that money. And there's usually a crowd of people around, and they say, "Well, why'd you do that?" And he goes, "Because you just threw away $1,000. This was worth $2,000.
There's a message for you.
Some fun things. Yeah, the tiara is gone. I think it got melted in my crucible.
I wouldn't tell everybody that because you'll be audited. Make sure there's some keywords that you're not using because you will be audited. I'm telling you that right now. Goodbye, Eagle Steve. So be careful. I'm telling you, they're watching.
Yeah, that's true. We will fix that. Don't send another one, Tiger. Please don't send another one.
We'll fix that. Oh geez. Oh geez. Oh geez. We're I think Surfer's gonna retire his tiara. His tiara wearing days are over.
It's retired already. That's the problem.
Yeah, he just feels it's not manly
It's
enough.
off brand for me. No one wears tiaras while surfing, not even the princess.
Surfers don't wear tiaras.
Yeah.
What are the possibilities? So I don't think he does. We'll have to figure something. And he's got such great hair; it would mess up the poof.
You can't mess up the Jimmy Neutron hair. You can't do it.
I know you can't. We can't hide that with a tiara anymore.
I still laugh, Nick, when my kid was little and he got the little toy and the happy whatever it was, and he's all dad, and my wife.
That's so
Oh
funny.
my gosh.
That is the cutest thing because I didn't see it until you said something, but now I can see it.
Oh, it's totally there. And it was like, I mean, it was like hair standing this tall on something this big, like the hair was as big as the figurine.
There's also a guy who swept up dirt from the sidewalk crack and found golden diamonds. Are you kidding me?
That's awesome.
I mean, seriously, I'm not about that. I would do that myself and I would do it.
That would actually be funny. Like Nick gets out a bottle of like Fiji water to wash the dirt.
Oh yes, I love that's my not the Fiji water.
That would be funny.
Yeah, I like the France water better.
I think it would probably be true though. I mean, think about it. Like, I bet there's like gold and diamond dust on these guys that come out on their clothing.
I watched the video. Yeah.
And then they go outside and that just drops on the floor and moves around.
Yeah. I like Evian water better, but
yeah,
and then Fiji's my second favorite, and then Poland Springs because it's Maine water.
I knew it. I got close with Fiji.
I like I like Poland Springs, but listen, there's no shame in my game because I'll take my bottles back and I'm gonna flip that and I'm gonna buy gold or silver with my bottle money. And matter of fact, tomorrow is bottle day because I have a day off tomorrow. So tomorrow is bottle day. So, and if I count and sort them myself, I get an extra penny. So instead of the 5 cents, I make a cent. So tomorrow I have at least 900 bottles to bring back.
Dang.
Yeah. So how much is that?
Does it go by bottle or does it go by weight? When you
go to your place,
by each bottle. Sometimes they do it by weight.
No, we don't do that. No, we don't do that by weight here because it's like a deposit. So let me see,
I know
900.
it's the same in California, but some places will do it by weight.
So I will make $54 tomorrow with bringing my bottles back, and then I'll probably buy something from the Durbin's auction tomorrow night. So beware, because that's how I bully people in the Durbin's auction. Is I'll say today is bottle day. So don't bid against me. I brought bottles back, so I have enough money to go as high as I want. And that's how I bully people. I'll be like, go for it. It's bottle day for me.
She has a bottle addiction. So here's the deal. Are you drinking whatever's in those bottles so that you can earn
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Like,
or
especially like a lot of the
you
kids will
already
drink
just drink them anyway?
a lot of the kids will drink Gatorade, and so it's a lot of water bottles and Gatorade bottles. And good night, Jack. So it's a lot of water bottles and Gatorade bottles.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, I could chat all night, but I do need to
Yep.
run. I've been up
It's
since bright early this morning at 5 a.m. for work. It was kind of a crazy early morning.
I
And
know.
I've got the same thing tomorrow.
Can you imagine if I was a drinker? Because we're not a drinker in my household. I would have a lot of bottles to bring back. But thank God we're not drinkers. I mean, I don't need. Yes, I'm sorry. I just saw that. Good thing she doesn't drink. Yeah, it is a good thing because then I would really be bullying people in the chat.
There you go.
Yes.
Well, you'll have to take a picture of all of it, like your huge pile of it.
Yeah, I could.
You can show what $54 looks like.
It's just a bunch of garbage bags with bottles in it.
Picture of it.
And then so I bring them into the bottle redemption center, and they like when they see me coming, they're like, "Ugh," because I think they are going to have to go through and count them and sort them. I'm like, "Here's my paper." So they're happy when I leave because then all they had to do was give me the money.
There you go.
I did the work for them. Okay. See you guys.
See you guys.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for coming.